Mara and James headed to the beach one cloudy autumn morning. It would be their final trip before Maria, 9 months pregnant, gave birth. The couple was determined to create one more memory, just the two of them, before the baby arrived. Both were feeling relaxed and happy, however, that relaxation wouldn't last long. Though the couple was unaware, the situation was taking a dramatic turn. Soon enough, they would be put to the test as they fought for survival. When they finally made it to the beach, Maria's face lit up. She was so happy for the chance to visit the beach. The cool air and soothing, repetitive sound of the waves created the perfect serene setting. It was just what she needed. They spent the day near the water. James took a picture of her with his camera. They shared their hopes and dreams about their future child, and they enjoyed each other's company. James used a Polaroid camera. After he took a picture of his wife, they continued walking and talking until the photo developed. Then, all the excitement James felt changed to shock. Sensing his distress, Maria's smile faltered. The first photo revealed a dark, shadowy figure in the background, completely unexpected and out of place in the situation. James was filled with questions, and Maria grew distressed as she tried to figure out what was going on. Their peaceful mood quickly changed to anxiety and fear. James couldn't talk, frozen in place as he inspected the Polaroid. Maria moved to stand beside him, also examining the photo. Upon first inspection, the image seemed fairly normal. It wasn't until she looked closer that she noticed something wrong in the background. It was hard to see, but the image was disturbing enough to make her shiver. What she saw wasn't something she ever expected to see in a simple photograph taken on the beach. The two stood beside each other in silence for some time. They were struggling to understand what they saw in the photograph. Dread and fear washed over Maria, like the water on her feet. She couldn't help but look around for the source of the disturbing figure in the photo. James spoke first, saying they needed to take action immediately. However, they couldn't risk panicking and making things worse. Though the image was disturbing, they needed to fully think through the situation. What was meant to be an innocent picture of Maria had something disturbing in the background, barely visible in the water. The couple's first thought was to call for help, but when they pulled out their phones, they both realized they had no signal. Next, they moved as fast as they could back to where the photo had been taken. After scanning the surface of the ocean, they quickly knew that their eyes hadn't been deceiving them. Something was there, about 80 feet away from them. Something struggled in the water. Even from the shore, the two could see it was visibly distressed. Maria, compelled to help, moved toward the creature, but James hesitated. He worried it was a shark and didn't want to risk it hurting them, but Maria refused to stay back. Since they couldn't call anyone for help, they had the responsibility to assist the creature. Together, they waded into the water. As they approached, James stopped his wife. He recognized it. Maria froze. His shaky words made her heart drop. As her heart pounded, she waited for him to explain what he meant. James couldn't believe what he was about to tell her. It was a shark. But not just any shark. James was certain it was a great white shark, one of the most dangerous in the ocean. They had never seen such a large animal so close. Neither knew what to do now that the animal was identified. Maria shivered. Now that she knew what kind of dangerous beast she was approaching, she wanted to run away. Still, she couldn't just leave it. Great white or not, the animal was struggling. She couldn't live with herself if she turned and walked away. Setting her jaw, Maria told James they were still going to help and moved forward. Both were more cautious in their movements now, staying far away from its dangerous mouth and thrashing body. No matter how they looked at the situation, the two couldn't help the shark on their own. With Maria's pregnancy, there wasn't much she could do without risking her life and the baby's. They needed the Coast Guard, but how were they to get in touch with one when their phones weren't working? It seemed impossible. What were they supposed to do now? Should they leave the creature to struggle alone while they found help? At that instant, they saw an old man approaching from afar on the beach, holding a strange device, seemingly a metal detector, and pulling a large cart of flotsam. Maria hurriedly ran back to shore, trying to get his attention. When he came closer, Maria quickly explained the critical situation. Without delay, the man began unloading his cart. "Let's take the cart near the shark and use it to hoist it. This will allow us to evaluate its condition, he said with resolve. Assisted by the elderly man, James and Maria successfully maneuvered the cart to the stranded shark, gasping for air. The creature was clearly ensnared in fishing nets. Together, James and the senior citizen cautiously secured a rope around the shark's tail, steadily guiding it toward the waiting cart. With the shark nearing exhaustion and its strength waning, the elderly man managed to approach closely. Delicately, he began cutting the wires of the nets. Some of these were going inside the shark's body. Maria was too concerned, fearing they might be too late. With the last fibers of the net cut, the elderly man cautioned that their only chance to rescue the shark was to guide it beyond the surf. The creature's diminished condition rendered it incapable of navigating through the waves independently. Yet the man warned that once in deeper waters the shark might completely regain strength and become a formidable risk. Undeterred by the peril, James and Maria remained steadfast in their resolve. "We've made it this far," James affirmed with determination. "We're not abandoning this great creature now." Under the old man's direction, both Maria and James pushed the cart with the shark inside beyond the crashing waves into the deeper water. Gradually the shark recovered its strength and started to swim. They stood in awe as the majestic creature vanished into the ocean's depths, liberated from the fishing nets. Returning to shore, Maria and James were filled with a sense of achievement and thankfulness. They appreciated the expertise of the elderly man and his help, feeling honored to have contributed to saving one of the ocean's most magnificent beings. Maria's scream shattered the calm, making James stop in his tracks. "What is it?" he asked in a panic. "Oh no," Maria whispered. "It's happening." While standing in the water, Maria hadn't noticed her water breaking. With no hospital nearby and no cell phone signal, they were stranded. A wave of panic washed over James. This situation was the exact reason he had been apprehensive about coming to the beach today. His worst fears were now a reality. Fortunately, the elderly gentleman remained composed. "No need to fret," he assured them. "We'll get Maria to the hospital before it's too late." Directing James to place his wife on the cart, they cautiously proceeded to the vehicle. They placed Maria in the rear seat of the car, with James beside her. The elderly man took control of the steering wheel, skillfully maneuvering through the meandering roads on the way to the hospital. Maria endured excruciating pain, leaving James feeling utterly powerless as he witnessed her suffering. Francis's reassuring tone and smooth handling of the wheel calmed their anxiety. "I'm Francis, by the way. The hospital isn't far less than an hour," he reassured them. They soon learned Francis had raised 5 children and was a proud grandfather of 16. Fortunately for the couple, Francis had ample experience with deliveries. At last, after what seemed like an endless journey, they reached the hospital. Medical personnel hurried to assist Maria, and James felt immense relief as they rushed her to the labor room. Walking the hospital halls, James reflected on the morning's events. What began as a casual beach day had transformed into a pivotal moment in their lives. He deeply appreciated the elderly man's compassion and skill, knowing they had a profound impact on their child's birth. After agonizing hours, James was finally summoned to the labor room. Stepping inside, he saw Maria cradling their newborn, tears of happiness flowing freely. Overwhelmed, James choked up seeing his wife and son. They had been blessed with a boy. Cradling their newborn, thoughts of the extraordinary chain of events leading to this moment flooded their minds. They were deeply thankful for the elderly man who not only aided them with the shark, but also ensured they reached the hospital in time. In the days that followed, James and Maria embraced their roles as parents. The couple frequently reminisced about the beach incident, recognizing its profound impact on their lives. They felt incredibly fortunate to have received assistance from a stranger during a critical moment. James and Maria decided to express their gratitude to Francis, the old man. Returning to the beach, they searched in vain for hours. Near their car, James noticed the old man's abandoned metal detector. Determined, they returned daily for a week, asking around for any trace of him, to no avail. Finally, a letter arrived on the 7th day. The old man thanked them for their shared experience and their kindness to the shark. He enclosed a key to a safe deposit box, leaving a gift for their child. Maria and James were deeply moved. Opening the deposit box at the bank, They discovered rare seashells and a letter with the name, address, and further whereabouts of Francis. The couple decided to write back to Francis, expressing their heartfelt thanks. Over the years, they fondly remembered the old man and their beach encounter. Taking their child to the shore reminded them of his kindness. Grateful for the stranger who had influenced their child's birth, they cherished the memories of that pivotal day at the beach.